Have you ever walked away from a conversation with a supposed friend only to feel strangely drained or insecure? Or have you caught a fleeting glimpse of something that wasn't quite joy in their eyes when you shared good news? An odd tension that just doesn't align with the idea of friendship. We're often led to believe that a false friend is obvious, marked by loud acts of betrayal. But the reality is far more subtle. Most insincere friends don't reveal themselves through grand treachery. Instead, their disloyalty is a quiet poison, delivered in small doses through seemingly innocent comments, passive gestures, and a well-practiced veneer of support. The psychologist Carl Jung noted that enlightenment comes not from imagining figures of light, but from making the darkness conscious. This principle is as true for our relationships as it is for our own minds. To truly know who is for you and who is against you, you must learn to recognize the hidden behavioral patterns that expose a counterfeit connection. In this video, we will explore the only two psychological indicators that truly matter when identifying a fake friend. These aren't superficial tips or recycled advice, but deep insights rooted in psychology and Jung's work on the human shadow. Friendship is meant to be defined by trust, loyalty, and shared growth. However, studies in social psychology show that many relationships that we label as friendships don't actually meet this standard. Psychologist Robin Dunbar's research on social networks found that while we may be acquainted with many, our brains can only handle a very small number of truly intimate, emotionally significant bonds. Within this core circle, unwavering loyalty is the currency. When this sacred space is occupied by someone without genuine allegiance, disappointment is inevitable. Fake friends flourish in the space between how things seem and how they really are. They appear to be allies, but are secretly driven by envy, competition, or an unexpressed bitterness. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow perfectly illuminates this dynamic. The shadow contains all the parts of ourselves that we suppress or deny, the traits we refuse to acknowledge. When individuals harbor unexamined envy, insecurity, or resentment, they often project these feelings onto others. Rather than facing their own shadow, they cast it upon you. On the surface, they might offer encouragement, but underneath, your success, your happiness, or your personal growth makes them deeply uncomfortable. Once you grasp this psychological framework, the first definitive sign of a false friend becomes impossible to miss. It rarely looks like outright opposition, but rather something far more insidious. The first psychological sign of a fake friend is consistent, subtle undermining. Unlike direct hostility, this behavior is often camouflaged as humor, practical advice, or even concern. For instance, you share a major accomplishment, and they might offer congratulations that are immediately followed by a qualifier. That's amazing. Just be aware, a lot of people who get that role burn out quickly. When you're thrilled about a new project, they might be the one to bring up a past failure. Just be careful. Remember what happened last time you tried something. Like this. Initially, remarks like these can seem innocuous, perhaps even well-intentioned. But over time, a clear pattern emerges. Their words aren't designed to lift you up. They're designed to keep you level with them. Research on envy, like that detailed in Richard H. Smith's work, confirms that when people feel threatened by someone else's achievements, they often resort to behaviors that diminish or invalidate that success. False friends are masters of this, cloaking their envy in sarcasm or so-called helpful criticism. Jung's theory of projection explains the why. Those aspects they can't accept in themselves, their own perceived failures or insecurities, are cast onto you. By chipping away at your confidence, they are symbolically attacking the reflection of their own shadow. For you, however, the result is deeply confusing. You leave your interactions not feeling supported, but questioning your own abilities and judgment. Over time, this hidden resentment erodes self-worth and trust, making it one of the most potent signs of a fake friendship. But why is recognizing this first sign so crucial? Because its power lies in its subtlety. Genuine friends will challenge us, but their intent is always to help us grow. Fake friends challenge us to keep us from growing. The distinction is slight, but absolutely critical. Studies on relational aggression, a form of hostility explored in social psychology, show that indirect attacks like backhanded compliments, gossip, or veiled criticism can be just as damaging to one's self-esteem as open conflict. It wears you down slowly, leaving you uncertain about what is real and what isn't. When someone consistently undermines you, it signals that their support is conditional. They enjoy your presence, but not your progress. This is where Jung's insight is so vital. Until you make the shadow of their behavior conscious, you remain vulnerable to it. By identifying the pattern, consistent undermining, you gain the clarity needed to see the dynamic for what it is. And if this first sign is revealed during your moments of success, the second sign exposes itself under the exact opposite conditions. And before we delve into that second sign, if this discussion is providing you with value, consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear these ideas. The second, and perhaps most telling sign of a fake friend, is their absence when it truly counts. A true friend might miss a casual get-together or be slow to respond to a text, but when life truly puts you to the test, their support is non-negotiable. A fake friend, in contrast, consistently disappears the moment you face a genuine struggle. Psychological research into social support consistently shows that having a reliable support system is a key predictor of our resilience. The simple knowledge that someone will be there for you during difficult times is the bedrock of trust. When a person repeatedly fails to provide that support, their actions communicate their true intentions more clearly than any words. They often reappear when things are good again, when there is entertainment to be had or social capital to be gained. But in moments of hardship, they create distance. Jung argued that a relationship's authenticity is tested by suffering because adversity has a way of stripping away the social masks we all wear. In times of crisis, our unconscious motivations come to the surface. A friend who vanishes during your darkest hours reveals that their connection to you was never about loyalty. Their absence is their shadow breaking through, exposing a relationship built on convenience and self-interest, not genuine care. If the first sign shows how they act when you succeed, this second sign reveals who they are when you struggle. These two signs, subtle undermining during your highs and conspicuous absence during your lows, provide a complete picture of a false friendship. One works to sabotage your climb, while the other abandons you when you fall. Together, they create an undeniable pattern that reveals who is truly in your corner. Recognizing these signs isn't about becoming cynical or distrustful of everyone. It's about cultivating awareness. As Jung taught, by making the unconscious conscious, we prevent ourselves from being controlled by it. When you learn to spot these two patterns, you stop confusing superficial charm with genuine connection. You empower yourself to establish healthy boundaries, invest your energy in relationships that foster your growth, and gracefully step away from those that diminish it. Friendship is one of life's greatest gifts, but only when it is real. By paying attention to these two psychological signs, hidden resentment expressed through undermining and abandonment in times of need, you can protect your energy and create space for authentic connection. Jung's work reminds us that while people may hide their motives, their patterns of behavior will always tell the truth. And once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. Now, I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Have you ever recognized these signs of a fake friendship in your own life? Share your experience in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, Be sure to subscribe for more explorations into psychology and personal growth.